Should I be ecstatic right now because we just got our asses bent over and kowalloped? Probably not. But Miami lost. And as much as I hate losing, I am one petty son of a bitch. All right? So anytime those little twat muffins can take a beating, I'm here for it. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. So, we got spanked. We got embarrassed. We looked awful out there. Florida fans are in shambles. Call-in show. Links in the description. I understand why you're upset, but I'm gonna still be ecstatic that they lost. I'm gonna get my talking shit. Well, I can. I tweeted it out, boys. How you like that? Austin Foley, what's up, baby?
What's going on, Shelton? How you doing, brother?
I mean, I love when a team goes down. Like, my thing is like, hey, we were over in halftime, so I've had 2 quarters of dealing with that loss.
Hey, you and me both.
Saved my day. Georgia Tech saved my day.
You and me both, brother. That shit was rough.
Woo. Tough
Jesus
day here.
Christ. Hey,
Tough
man,
day
look,
for the boys.
I appreciate your optimism and wanting to keep Billy, but this was kind of our worst fear is that Billy gets the okay, and then all of a sudden people are like, hey, we're not going to – well, at least the players. I'm not going to say the defense didn't try, but and look, the injuries, I get it. Look, man, I understand. Hardcore Florida fan, man. Fucking bleed, blue and orange, but that was rough. That was rough, man. I mean, it's just, even like you were talking about during the halftime show, why not make a change at quarterback? Something to spark it. I mean, at least the running game kind of got going, but it's like, Texas is kind of playing some BS defense in the second half. They throw Arch Manning in, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like BS points at the end of the game. That's kind of how I view the second half. So it's like, what do we have to look forward to with Billy when we got LSU next week and then Ole Miss? I mean, I'm kind of nervous about Florida State, to be honest.
Yeah, look, I think with what we saw on the field today, I mean, that's a kind of a future of what it's going to look like for the next few weeks. Hopefully DJ Lowry comes back and you expect it a little bit. But look, we keep saying all these injuries, and I mean, there's still Damian George. I don't know how his health is. A lot of wide receivers are still out. Yes, Lagway can come in and make a big difference, but we looked completely lost. And I want to kind of make a point. So when the news came out of Strickland with backing Billy Napier, it wasn't that I was pro Napier, and I said this. My reason that I appreciated it was because at least we made a decision. Whether it works out or not, I don't know. And clearly we learned 4 days later, like, hey, maybe we overreacted. But I was kind of glad that we could at least make some kind of step in a direction. Now, it may be the shitty one, but I was sick of hearing about it. So at least they kind of just tried to shut the noise down. But with a loss like this, I mean, it's going to just be rallied right back up. So the letter is irrelevant.
Man, I watched your live stream. What was it, last night when you brought your lawyer on?
Yeah.
About the basketball coach. Yeah. And it's kind of like now you look at that and then you're looking at this performance and you're like, well, damn, if they fire the basketball coach for that and then Billy has this performance, like his ass is gone too. You know what I mean? So we might still be in that scenario regardless.
Yeah, it's the 48 hours from the letter have not been favorable for Strickland and the Gators. So even though the letter said one thing, results spoke complete opposite of what the letter was trying to hopefully ignite.
Yes, sir. And hey, look, man, I appreciate your show. Love watching you guys. I've never called in. I've watched you guys for a couple years now. Appreciate, at least the Monday nights with Stephen Harris, especially now that you guys are breaking down like the play calls and all that. So because, look, I'm not X's and O's, guys. I'm just a fan like most of you guys. So it's just like, hey, I want to understand, like, what is the intention and what are we doing wrong? So I appreciate that breakdown that you guys do. But I'm honestly, like, look, I'm probably around your age too, man. Like, I'm an honest Florida fan. I kind of started watching when we had, like, Urban in there and we were top dogs. And then, like, now we've kind of dealt with everything since then. It's frustrating at best. It really is, man. It's like, at what point are we going to get serious about this? Because, Florida's not just some BS program. We're not South Florida. We're not FAU. We're not UCF. We're not even FSU, shit, especially after this year. So it's just kind of frustrating. Like, at what point are we going to see decisions made that make the program look like we're serious about football again? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I mean, this there's losing, there's looking like shit, and then there's this. And again, I mean, I've been pretty clear in my stance after the A&M game. I was ready to see him rock and roll. I had seen enough to that point. And although I know, look, I think the defense has made some strides in the last couple of games, I've still been very pessimistic about the future, what Napier can do. Again, and I've been very clear about, like, look, everyone's like, oh, with the letter, I was like, hey, here's a positive side of it. But even still, when people are like, they're going to take this money and go to the transfer portal, you have not proven to me to do that in the last 2 years. Why now? What's going to change this year? So
exactly.
I'm still not sold on those things. And look, I mean, as quickly as a team was bought in, the wind can go out of it just as quick. But again, I still stand by what I said on Thursday as well too. That I don't know what the right answer. I mean, the right answer everyone's gonna say is fire Billy Napier. My issue. The thing is Strickland's still gonna be making the calls, and that's what I don't.
Right.
That guy has, like,
he's got to go.
As everybody, like, it's just like, bro, that guy's got to go. So it's like, okay, do we just bite the bullet and we just wear paper bags on our face for the rest of the year and into next year to get rid of Strickland and to you completely burn it down? Like, is that what has to happen to burn it down? Then I'll take a bullet. I don't want him to have to make the decision again. That's where I stand. And my concern is if, and again, I think he'll die by that letter, but we have no structure.
He will.
I think people don't realize there's nobody over Strickland to press this right now, which is a major issue.
And I agree with you, man. And that's like the biggest problem. Is like, okay, the administration's under question from pretty much the nation. Everyone's looking at Florida that's somewhat interested in this, and they're looking, hey, why isn't Florida making the right decisions? Well, now they're looking to the administration. It's like there's only so many bad coaches you can have come through here before finally people are going to be like, what else is going on here behind the scenes that we don't know about? And I'm talking about fans outside of the program, college football fans that are viewing this. And even as Florida fans, we're kind of questioning it, like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's like this guy has a terrible record. I mean, the Tennessee game, I mean, that's a perfect example, man. We had that game. That was purely coaching decisions that we lost that game on. And then we come out next week and smoke Kentucky, who's beat our ass for the last 3 years. So it's like, I don't understand the inconsistencies. You know what I mean? And look, I'm all about the injuries. I get it, dude. I tried to make excuses. I was on Lou's channel giving him shit. Like, you already know it, man. Like, I got us. We're good. But the reality is, man, it's like we need some answers.
Yeah, we something has to be said. I think that's the thing too. Is like there needs to be some pressure. I feel like the Gator creators, we stand more in the heat than some of the coaching and Strickland on this shit.
Oh, and, yeah.
I feel like there needs to be an opportunity to kind of ask the hard questions of like, what are you seeing? Obviously we've seen some things, but it's like, look, man, there's too many things continuously to happen. But Austin, I appreciate you, man. We got people waiting. I appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate your support and your kind of words too, man. And hey, thank you.
Brother, I appreciate you taking the time. I know I've taken up enough time at this point, man. Get on with it, and I'll look forward to talking with you later on. All right, Shelton? Go Gators.
Yes, sir, man. Go Gators, boys. Boys and girls, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys want to call in and give your thoughts and opinions. Link is in the description. Let's talk about it. Let's cry about it. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
We back, baby. Miami's down.
Hey, I was thinking about what I was gonna say to start this one off. And I was gonna say, let's start with some good news. Miami lost, but you already did that. So I only got what everybody else is about to harp on. But obviously disappointing. But I don't know even if Nick Saban could come in with this Florida team. Like, we were outmanned and outcoached, and that's why you get a score like that. How much could Billy Napier have really done to prepare a third-string team in most positions to really come out there and be super competitive against what you showed the other night, the number one team or the number one defense?
Yeah.
So it's like and I've always felt this, like, you can have a good team and get your ass beat because there's just a difference in level of talent. Like, if they're always executing and finding the opportunity to make a play on your defense, if there's always going to be some strategic, way, like, if they get like, you could always run up the score on a team if you're like playing perfect, even against a bad team, like, or I mean, against a good team, like you could have a game that's like 64-3, and that's just because you're perfectly executing against, you know, a good team, because you're finding, you know, holes in their offense and whatever. And Georgia was able to do that against Texas. And so that's kind of showing, like, for me, we're getting outcoached in a lot of this. But then the other thing that doesn't help is, like, man, we are just so outmanned and down. And then you're looking at who's making plays on Texas, and you have Colin Simmons, you have Gibson, I think it's Gibson, the running back.
Jared Gibson, the running back. Yeah.
And then you have Isaiah Bond and all these guys that Florida's trying to recruit and, you know, falling short on. And you're looking, hey, like, this is where recruiting's taking Texas. And so, like, we're taking strides in the opposite direction because we can't close on these guys. And so it's like, you kind of look at it like the future's kind of getting worse and worse. And so, I mean, what do you do? I think it's probably a smart decision to keep Napier for next season. And the only reason I say that is because our schedule's so damn hard next season. Like, you're going to come in with a roster. If Billy Napier leaves, you're going to lose Lagway. You're going to lose all these guys. Who knows if somebody can even pick up the pieces to put together a performance. And then, I mean, like, dude, no shot on our fan base. Our fan base is the best, in my opinion. I freaking love them. But one thing we all are is passionate. And so, you know, if Lane Kiffin comes in next year and, you know, the cupboards are empty by the end of next season, when we're 5-7 again, because we're playing, you know, some of the hardest teams in college football, some of the best defenses in college football, we're going to be calling for his head. So it's like, you know what, maybe it's good to just let this shit burn down. Let us find the holes and where, you know, not just our sports, like our athletic facility is, but with just, you know, our AA and, you know, who's the president of the university. Let's figure this out. So that way, when all of the holes are exposed, we can start to fill them. So I don't know. That's like everything I can compile.
Yeah, look, I think, I mean, on the halftime show, it's you kind of want to take that stance of like, hey, we've had a lot of injuries, and they kept bringing that point up. And I mean, yes, we have had tons of injuries. I don't know. I just feel like, look, when you get down to that third string and you get down to the bare bones and you're missing a talent, and that just kind of shows you how special DJ Lagway is. And I understand the drop off from Warner to Lagway is it's so greater that we can't probably even comprehend it. But I mean, it's that plus just look, I think there was some creativity, but I don't know. I watched Georgia Tech. They rushed for over 250 yards. They threw the ball for 20 yards in the air. Like, understand what you have and make adjustments accordingly. Like, trying to go out there and think you've got a version of Graham Mertz. Like, that's my problem. I think that he just tries to, he's got the boneheaded moves. Again, these have been my frustrations constantly, is like he refuses to change or make adjustments. And like, look, my thing is like, you walk into that game, you've got literally nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like, if all week should have been like, okay, if this doesn't work, how can we make an adjustment and try to like come out this thing and throw a kitchen sink at it? The defense has been playing good enough to keep us in it. If we can keep this game ugly and allow for the defense to get rested, how do we do that? That's the strength. Like, you're trying to fix a problem. That the problem is that we are not going to be able to move the ball. Like, acknowledge, like, yeah, Warner's not going to come in and be that guy. Like, don't have an ego or be humble enough to realize that, okay, our strength is our defense. So how do we work around that? How do we make that to be the point of emphasis? And I don't feel like they played to that. When you're on that, have an attempt to score, it's 14-0. You don't settle for a field goal, bro. You were on the road, 4-4 on your third string quarterback. Have some fucking balls. Like, that has been my complaint forever. And I felt like if there was a time to have some balls, like, that was now. And you still didn't do it. And like, as much as I could try to have the guys back and support him, he just says, fuck it, I don't care. I'm gonna continue to do me. And I just look, as much as I've given him credit for believing in his way, like, at some point it's like, all right, dude, like, you're just gonna hang yourself with your own method. And that's kind of what we're coming to.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we do get somebody who calls the offense a little bit different. I mean, not that that's going to make up all the difference in this offseason, but two, hopefully they change up some of the strength and conditioning. I love the improvements that we've made. I feel like our strength and conditioning has really contributed to how our offensive line is playing, you know, how much better we are there. But at the same time, I think it was you who was saying about Tom Brady, and he kind of mixes things up because he, you know, he's all about injury prevention. And so it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, I really want to see just a team that takes the step forward next season also into injury prevention, what they can do, in that aspect. But I mean, hopefully we can show up against these next two teams. Hopefully we can get some of these guys healthy back. I mean, what we're shooting for is a bowl game, and I think it's easy to say we can beat FSU if we get Lagway back. And if we get, I mean, I don't know. I think if we just get Lagway back, that game's a lock, but who knows? I'm always wrong. And then, I thought we were back this year. I was kind of,
we all did, Cole.
Dude. So it's fun. It's fun to be wrong, but I'm used to it.
Here's a good thing. You look good. The sweater looks good. The hair is flowing, and that's all that matters. So.
Oh yeah.
Have a good rest of your Saturday, big guy. I appreciate you as always calling in, man. Good to see you. Go Gators.
Yeah,
buddy. Blanco says $20. Thank you for the super chat because F Miami. Hey, ABC kids, if you don't like the way that I'm handling this show, this is what's great about this particular show. You can call in and voice your beautiful opinion. Don't hide behind the keyboard. There's an opportunity to call. Ring away. You suck. But that's my dog right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what a man looks like. The balls on this guy. He is a Miami fan. He has called in to talk his shit. And the day they lose, the day Miami chokes, he's the third caller. You're the man, bro. I can't even say anything because you're just an incredible human being. I love you. I love you. You are the man. You are the man. Respect. You
I
suck,
appreciate it.
but respect.
Hey, listen, it's okay. I didn't get to watch your game. We were playing at the same time.
Yep.
All I could see was the final score. I saw your halftime show a little bit. I think you guys were down 35-7 at half. But no, there's not me digging. I'm just asking first.
Yeah, 35. It was 35-0 going in half. Yeah.
35-0. Okay, so yeah, no, I think you guys actually buckled down second half because I think they only put up another like 10, 13 points or something.
Yeah, we locked it in, bro. We beat that second. Hey, we're a second half squad.
Yeah, hey man, hey, so were we until today. So, hey, if your team could put up a fight while still down, that's a win in our book, And I think we needed to lose this game because I think we were really banged up. I think we were down to like 4 veteran DBs, and I think everybody else is like freshmen or really haven't got play time. And so we're losing. And then the best thing is that we're going into a bye week next week. So I think our team's got some chances to get healthy. Rivals could talk their shit. We lost. It's all right.
I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, it's of course. Hey, yeah, as you guys should, because we run the state. So I mean, I understand you guys, get to talk your stuff when you guys get an opportunity to, man. So
your season's far from over. And look, I think you guys have been hanging on by a thread the last couple of weeks, and a nice punch in the gut could be beneficial to you guys. The AC championship is still in play, but I'm gonna have fun with this because not you, but your fan base, as all fan bases are obnoxious pricks. So I'm going to take full advantage of it. But like, again, I kind of realized they're technically still not out of it. I mean, they can still go to the AC championship, and this loss means absolutely nothing, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Please enjoy it. Cause we're about to take UNFSU's recruits. We're going to,
fair enough.
And, and I'm not one of those Miami fans that's going high. Like, I'm going to come out here. I know the chat's probably just tearing me a new one.
No, respect. Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love.
Yeah, man. But I'm going to let you get on with your show. I got to cook dinner. It's about a low 42 degrees right now. Rainy up here in Chicago. So
all right, man. Be safe. Have fun, Bubba. Go Gators.
Go Kings.
Dempsey says straight belt to ass, bro. Embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It looks like one of our other future stars, Austin Simmons, is getting a start because Jackson Dart was limping off the football field for the Ole Miss game. That could be absolutely massive. ABC, getting upset because I'm hating on this team. I don't think he's ever watched the show before. I got to be honest. I don't think he's ever watched me talk about this. Nathaniel.
Hey, man.
What's up?
I called you a couple weeks ago. We talked first time. Thank you for taking my call again.
Were you in the car?
I was.
Okay. All right. I remember.
Man, I missed the first half of your show, but can you just tell me briefly, like, what were your thoughts watching the first half? Like, did you feel mad? Did you feel apathetic? How were you feeling watching that?
Yeah, apathetic would probably be the best one. I did the halftime show, and it was just like, look, like, you kind of had a sense of hope, and I felt like what I saw was going to happen. It was just how long could we hang on before the belts, the wheels came off. I didn't think it would happen that quickly. I was disappointed, I think, in the game plan they had for Warner. I mean, the kid came out there and kind of did what he was tried to do. But I just, it gets to the point where it's like, I mean, you go from mad to sad to just like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? I mean, we've yelled and screamed and kicked so much. I mean, there's at this point, I kind of, my thought process is like, hey, we're in the shit, and you're either going to ride this shit and talk about it like we're doing right now, or you're going to just ignore it, which is healthy too. And we'll be back again. But yeah, I was very upset. Touchdown Ole Miss, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching the game right here too.
What were your thoughts?
Man, let me ask you, do you know Allie Peak on YouTube?
Yeah, she's been on our show a handful of times. She's great.
Okay, cool. I comment on one of her posts, like when Lagway got hurt in the Georgia game, that was kind of like disheartening. Like that legitimately brought tears to my eye because he just gave me hope. But when he went down, it's like I don't even know how to feel after that. So like I don't really expect much from the season. Honestly, it's like if Lagway is not playing, or if he's hobbled, I don't really think you can expect a whole lot, especially with all the injuries that we have. And they really showed up today. All the injuries, they really showed today.
Yeah, look, I didn't think he was going to play. I would have been shocked if he played today, but I'm glad he didn't. It's not worth an injury. And again, honestly, just how much they put up to us. I mean, would he made a difference? I would like to believe so, but still, Damian George didn't play. That was a big factor on the O-line. Ton of talent out on the wide receiver. Marcus Burke and Jaquavier Frazier, those guys are getting starts. I mean, we're running deep into the wide receiver room. Burke just can't get any separations. So.
And one last question: do you think we have any chance of beating LSU or Ole Miss?
I'll talk about it on Wednesday.
Talk about it on Wednesday.
I'll talk about it on Wednesday. Look,
I'll make sure I tune in.
Yeah, I like to look. I mean, obviously, right now, I mean, if the same team shows up, no. But again, is Lagway going to play? Is George back? I think if there's some healthy guys come back, I mean, I like what the product we can put on the football field. But again, it's at home. I mean, it's week to week. How's the team going to be feeling after this loss? I have no clue. I really don't anymore. It's genuinely week to week on what's going to happen. I think Lagway playing is a huge factor. If he doesn't play, you can tell we're a one-sided football team. Like, people are going to say, oh, the defense played like shit. Like, dude, the defense can't. Like, you wanted them to score. Like, that's basically where it was at. It was like back with that McElwain era. Like, we couldn't move the ball offensively. It was like, we just got to try to not let them score so much. And that's just not going to happen. We can't do that from week to week.
Yeah. Much as I love Lagway, we need a team effort. Can't
Absolutely.
do All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you as always. Go Gators. Iceman, how do you call in? Links in the description, baby. Come on. We want the smoke. ABC, you watch every show. If you watch every show, then you know I'm not a hater. Very supportive. It's unbelievable. Seth Patton, am I a hater? Am I being ridiculous?
Not at all, brother. I
All
love watching your halftime reports. Love watching your show.
Appreciate it.
I've watched Florida since 2004. Since I was 6, been involved in the program, like watching it wise. Absolutely not a hater. I knew it was going to be belt to ass today. We all kind of knew it. I will say
we don't want to accept it, but you felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a car wreck. Like, you hope everyone's okay, but somebody got hurt regardless. That's kind of where it's at with the program right now. I've been arguing with Florida fans all day online saying, like, this isn't a good thing to keep Billy Napier. I have speculations why we've kept him. I think it's to avoid the buyout. That's my opinion. Again, I'm not on the inside with the program. But even if we lose today, like, it's always good to see Miami lose. It's always going to be good to see FSU lose. But man, just
positives.
But there's positives. There's outlooks. It could be worse. Florida fans, just don't drink and drive today. All right, let's all be safe. But I wanted to kind of touch on something about you. Like, gotta get your viewpoints of the game, like, first and foremost. So, like, again, like, what were your thoughts about the game, and what are your thoughts, like, forward, especially with, like, now with this performance, and then with the Todd Golden allegations on top of, like, Strickland kind of doubling down on his hires?
Yeah, the Strickland thing is a very sticky situation. I'm surprised we still haven't heard a response to the Todd Golden thing. And again, that's why there's two sides to everything. So, like, that's why you can't always have, like, a complete overreaction. But if this is mishandled, which it doesn't look like it's being handled right now, but again, we only have one side. So we're 100% going to overreact. We're humans. That's what we do. And when something like that comes out, it's never a fun situation to be a part of. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, I think, and this is going to be the optimistic Disney Gator side of me, right? When we went and belt to ass to Kentucky, I was hyped up and people were like, hey, you can't overreact. It's Kentucky. I think
way.
you can make the same point. You can have a little bit of that to this point, or like, yeah, we got our belt to ass, but you do have to take things into consideration. Like, look, there's a logical way of addressing this. Like, are we that bad? No, just when it rains, it pours. Yeah, like shit just kind of went downhill, and it's like, all right, it is what it is. It's done and over with. I don't think we were, it's that much of a swing. I think there's some variables that were going against us, and that's why I said I'm going to react. I don't want to be completely over dramatic. But there is still some concerns that, again, the same things that I've had. I'm not saying, look, I think Billy didn't do himself any favors. That's for damn sure.
Absolutely. I do want to say one thing. And I remember what I was going to say. The guy before me asked about the odds versus LSU and Ole Miss. God forbid we lose to FSU, but that's another topic of discussion.
Yeah.
The thing about the Georgia game, why it was so close, also, in my opinion, is I don't believe Georgia has the weapons outside at the receiver core that people kind of say they do. They're a good, talented team. That's not what I'm saying. But Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, they got dogs on the outside. They're gonna press the secondary, especially with all the injuries now. I want to be optimistic. I'm always gonna watch them. When it rains, it pours, but in all kinds of weather. But if I'm being realistic, I'm kind of looking at the same outcome for the most part. LSU is always a close game. It's a rivalry game. The past 2 years we've played them close, regardless of like the end of the fourth quarter when LSU's kind of picked it up. But I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. But
yeah, look, I agree. I think that the Georgia team, we talked about Uncle Lou. There isn't much explosive talent. They don't really have an identity for the wide receiver wise. Tight end wise hasn't been great. And I think that I kind of was saying that for the last 2 weeks ago. Look, once we get a quarterback and some talent, we're probably going to get exposed a little bit in the secondary. And then we lose a bunch of secondary too. It's kind of just a perfect recipe for disaster. It's a perfect storm because not only were we kind of looking a little sus at areas, then you lose your starters. It's even going to be even more sus. And then Quinn Ewers, and again, the talent that they have on wide receiver is ridiculous. But Seth, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, hey, take care. Be safe, brother.
Go get it, bro. We've got Christian. You were next. What's up, man?
Yo, man. Look, hey, bro. It's funny you just mentioned Uncle Lou name. I'm about to pull over right now so we can talk, bro. We ain't finna talk about that game, bro. That was a bunch of just bullshit, man. Per usual, I left a message. I think it was just yesterday when you went live, bro. It was like our new slogan for Gator Nation is it's always some new bullshit. Go Gators. It's no longer the foundation of the Gator Nation. It's always some new bullshit. I asked Uncle Lou this question, man. What you think about this, man? Because like NFL player contracts, they're like guaranteed. Bro, there needs to be some kind of clause or something and like these coaching, like these contracts that says, look, if you grossly underperform in consecutive years, like Billy Napier, or do something extreme like what Mike Norvell's doing, win less than 3 games in one season, you will be fired with no buyout money. Like, there needs to be something like that to give leverage back to these universities, man. What you think?
I couldn't agree more. I said this weeks ago that the coaches have the universities handcuffed. I think it's look. I'm glad that there is a kind of an even balance, but I'm like, dude, these coaches are highway robbery. We were seeing it left and right. It's ridiculous. And I said it yesterday or Thursday. They kind of talked about it with Harbaugh on the Crane Show, where there was a negotiation of like, hey, we're going to keep you, but you're guaranteed going down a little bit. Like, that's how we're going to work with it. So again, I don't know if those conversations happen, but I think you should be able to leverage that. Unfortunately, and it goes back to the same thing with these kids where it's like, hey, we're not going to pay them. That's cool. Somebody will. And until there's a combative effort from the schools all getting together, and you see this in the NFL will get together and be like, hey, we got to quit doing this shit because there's only 32 teams that you have to gather around. The college football, nobody's ever going to agree. Like you have to have kind of a little bit of a good old boys club. Like, hey, all the coaches or what have you. Like, if this person continues to screw us over, we have to make an example of somebody. I don't think that'll happen. And that you need this for checks and balances. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Hey, man, also, I don't know who that was that just called and said, whoever that guy was that just tapped in and was like, hey, man, Napier is going to be our coach next season because they don't want to pay the buyout. He's absolutely right. Yep. Napier is our coach by default. I don't want to hear nobody getting online, spreading the word that, oh, he's earned it. What has he earned? A 15-19 record? Like, look, man, and credit to you, bro. You absolutely right. I heard you say this about a week or so ago. Like, look, 2 things can be true at once. I can acknowledge when our team is, improved. I can still be out on the coach, one. Is two, still acknowledge that our team has improved across the board. But at the end of the day, bro, wins and losses matter.
Yep.
And what we currently are doing, and I know you know this, and I know anybody that get on YouTube or the beat writers, even the powers that be, we are currently lowering our standard at University of Florida, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree. I think, look, there is a part to, again, and I understand where, like, because Slaughter's been extremely frustrated and other fans have been extremely frustrated, rightfully so. And I try to bring the most logical and healthy approach to this as best as I can. And I kind of use the example of when you, again, working at Publix. I worked at Publix. And you used to not have allowed to have tattoos, and you weren't allowed to have nose piercings and long ears. When you compromise one thing, it opens the door for you to compromise other things. So they allowed for you to have long hair. Then you could have, and not that these things are bad, but the reason why they had those strict rules is because you created a certain persona, you created a certain atmosphere. When you start allowing other things, other variables come along with that, with the piercings, with all. Not that I care. I'm just saying, like, if you create a standard and you allow one thing to break, other things come along with it. So the same thing happens here. If we accept, if we say, hey, it's okay that we played hard, which again, we're true, we're happy with that. You kind of start losing the focus and the goal at hand, which is winning is all that really matters. And I can acknowledge that. I know that. But sometimes when you're deep into the shit and you're battered and you just finally like, I'm just looking for a little bit of light. Stop hitting me. The expectations do fall. And I think that's where we have come, unfortunately.
Hey, man, I'm about to go grab this food, man. Thank you for the call, man. I don't want to talk about scrotum sack Napier and scrotum sack Strickland no more. So, but you take care, man.
Yeah, you too, Bubba. Thank you, man. RJ says, thank you, Billy Napier supporters turn Florida into a disgrace. Is it Alva? Alva. Talk to me, Alva.
Look, the man that was just on there before, he hit it right on the head. I'm talking about right on the head. I think there should be some kind of cap for these coaches. They shouldn't be able to get this enormous buyout.
Agreed.
If you don't meet the standard within a couple of seasons, then you're done. You're done. But I will and want to give out a shout out to our players today, because for the game that they played with the injuries that we got and the situation we put in with DJ Lagway, commends to them. They played a hell of a game. To put 17 points on the board against number 5 Texas, I got to give it to them.
Careful, it's moral victories. They're going to drag you.
Well, they just going to have to drag me. I mean, to have the injuries that we got and the players that we had out on the field playing the game that we played, even though it was, I thought it was going to be worse. I thought it was going to be worse.
At one point, it felt like it could have been.
It would.
They kind of laid off. They laid off a little bit.
When we were down and we were a goose egg, and they come back and put points on the board. Look, for what we got at this point in time, I give it to them. I give it to them.
And I think that's the part. Is like, look, all those things are true and can be true. The second side of it is like, we shouldn't be in this situation, but we are. And so that's the fact of the matter. So I'm not accepting it. I understand it. And I appreciate what the boys did on the field today. And I agree. I think, it could have been.
Yeah, I
easily just went.
At no point in time. I don't like it and I don't accept it. But for what they did today, for what we had to put out there, commends to them. That is, they showed out for what we had. Now, it should not have been that way. I do not. Billy Napier needs to go. He needs to pack a suitcase and head on down the road. We need somebody besides Billy Napier.
I think this is like, that's where people have a hard time separating. Is like, look, like, I'm not happy with the product in the field. I'm not happy with all these things, but these are still kids trying to go out there and do their best. And we as fans turn the TV off. We as fans quit on this shit. And so all it is I can respect and give credit the fact that these guys continue to go out there and do what they're doing, given all that is being said. And again, they're like, oh, moral victories for losers. Like, it's not a moral victory. We're not saying like we did it. Like, we're not happy with it, but it's a respect. Like, I don't know. I get sick of trying to argue with it. People just want to bitch at some points. But I appreciate your
Well, I mean,
it's weird how none of those people
like,
ever call in. I don't understand how it's.
I mean, look at it this way: they're down to a goose egg, down to 0. They could have just laid down and just let.
I'm not coming out of the locker room.
Right. They could have just come out of the locker room and just let it go like the first half did. But no, they still came out and they progressed and they showed out and they took the goose egg off the board and put 17 points on there. As for me being a Florida Gator, and I'm a diehard Florida Gator, that right there, I commend our boys for that. I commend our boys for still playing and taking that goose egg off and getting us some points on the board for what we had to work with. So that's my feeling on it.
Well, I appreciate you, man, calling in. Thank you for showing some love, man, and go Gators.
Hey, no problem. Love your show too. Go Gators,
man. Appreciate it. Boys, we got a treat. This little
we got a good one. I seen him. I had it logged in on my phone.
Ugly son of a bitch.
Hey,
you seen this guy? This guy has been in hiding. We're November 11th, almost a year. We're going because it was December 7th when he went into hiding and acted like a little bitch. Here we are, boys.
Hey.
Oh my God. Hey, I figured. Look, it's like Miami lost, Florida lost. Like, let's be honest, what's going to happen at 7:30 tonight?
That's true.
That's true.
Sweet.
What's going to happen at 7:30?
In our misery at this point. My God, you ugly bastards! How are you?
I'm great. Miami went down, baby. I'm feeling good.
You want to add hurt?
I'm gonna tweet.
Hey, you remember that deer that I shot this morning that died on camera? That I sent you, Shelton?
Yeah.
It didn't die. It didn't die.
It bounced back up?
Yeah, I tracked it 2.5 miles and couldn't find it.
You got to be a better shot.
So
I mean, the losing. The losing today. Just think I feel like my grandpa. He's like, I'm 4-time divorced, but you know what? It's okay because I'm a loser.
Get up and keep going.
Oh, baby,
Get up and keep going.
You're the number one loser in my book, though, Cody. And
Hey.
that puts you firmly ahead of the number 2 loser, who's like next to you in my view.
What were your thoughts on today, Holly?
I felt like, look, Miami has been like living by the skin of their teeth all year. Like, it was finally time that somebody fucking did something to make a move there. Like, I mean, like, dude, Cam Ward can't keep running around back there like he's Houdini, thinking that he's gonna just be able to, like, bro, how many times have you seen defensive ends like play contain, go, miss him, get back up, chase back after him? A linebacker, just all it takes is one guy in like an 18-second like scramble pocket, and then like this, and they find a way to like make a play out of it. Like, it's backyard football only worked for so long, and I'm glad. Georgia Tech, even better, even sweeter, considering that they didn't know how to kneel the ball against Georgia Tech last year, was the team that took away their winning streak.
What I loved is we were talking about it this morning on our Saturday morning show, and he was leading the Heisman favorite, and I was like, this is blasphemy that he's leading this.
Ridiculous.
So I'm so glad, because look, it was backyard football. He was able to run around and look like a ballerina back there, and those are your Heisman moments. No, because he can't read a defense, so he just kept extending plays. It's not a Heisman moment, but was finally exposed. We can put that to rest in the true 2 Heisman favorites, which was Ashton Jeanty and Travis Hunter. It's now theirs to lose. I should never hear about Cam Ward ever again, because when the back was against the wall, no more ballerina worked, got sacked, fumbled it in his own end zone. Beautifully said. So Miami is not out of the question. They'll be fine. They still can find. There's a way for them. So whatever. I'm more glad that we can be done with the Heisman talk. It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was pissed me off.
Cam Ward is probably the worst quarterback prospect in the last 2 years.
No, stop.
He's terrible.
Why do you continue to do this? We were having a good show. We were having a good. You can't say that.
Crazy.
I can.
That's crazy.
The worst out of 10 years?
No, 2. I said the last 2. The last 2.
Well, still
he's
though,
the worst out of the over Anthony Richardson, over Bryce Young. No
Dude,
way.
This guy's gonna get ate up in the when the defensive ends are running.
I'm not saying he's great. I mean, to be fair, it hasn't been great.
But he's terrible.
Worse than Bryce Young.
Yes.
Oh,
Bryce Young's in a bad Bad spot.
You're out of your mind.
Okay, hold on. Look at Minnesota Vikings.
So I need Holly back. I need
Sam
somebody
Darnold.
with a
Sam
pulse.
Darnold. Sam Darnold.
You didn't say he was going to be good. I told you were going to be good. You were like JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy. I go, Sam Darnold's better than JJ McCarthy, and now it's proven to be true. Stop it. That Cam Ward's worse than Bryce Young. You're out of your mind. Ivy Mack, $5.
Bryce Young has looked. He's looked lost, and I know he doesn't have a lot of talent. I get.
You got Adam Thielen running as his wide.
When Andy Dalton stepped in and had more of a pulse, and the guy's 95 years old, and he's a ginger, and I can say that because I'm a ginger.
It's
true. Been around the league a long time.
Okay, Ivy Mack, $5 is when the Gators lose. At least we have Steve's mom's beaver to lay her head on. I mean.
That's a good point. I want to give everyone my mom's beaver as like a pillow of solace.
My mom was saying just the other day that Holly that she missed your banter. She's probably upset if she's not watching this show right now. Yeah, it feels good to have a little bit of look. As much as you cheer for a horrible football team, but I could always count on you on some. I've been dealing with these takes for the last year. You know what he said the other day? Did you know what he said the other day?
Are we talking about Cody?
Yeah, we're talking about Cody. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what he said?
I see cold takes.
He said when Vandy was losing to Texas, that Vandy was exposed. How can you expose Vandy, Mr. Steven Chad Beaver? Can you explain that one to me?
That's the first best team in Tennessee. Okay.
Oh my.
You can't expose Vandy. Vandy exposes you. That's the whole logic of Vandy. That's what happens when Vandy plays above horrible. They're like, wow, we really got caught off guard by Vandy. Hey, you know how that whole problem fixes itself if you're the NCAA is you figure out a way to get rid of the quarterback. Is it this kid like under suspension or some nonsense like where he can't play or
I don't know. He's suing them for something. I usually come to you for
that
he
stuff. Wants more eligibility. He wants more eligibility. He wants to be like the Miami tight end with 9 years of eligibility. He can't make it in the league, so he says, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna play for Vandy forever."
Well, at that point, I mean, he's got the size to go play, be like a little. I mean, name one of those little crisscross wide receivers from the New England Patriots dynasty, right? You got Welker, you got an Amendola, you got you know what I mean, like take a white quarterback that is a little bit of a scramble maker, right? And then just make him a Tom Brady-esque little white
Spanish guy. All right, a couple of things. Devil Dog Gator, haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, buddy. I thought Holly was working the street corners. He's off today.
I need to talk to Devil Dog Gator. I need to get coffee from him.
23 months from Ivy Max says, more Steve, please. Look, boys, Steve's always been welcome back. It was Steve that did not want to come back. All right, so just
hold on. I didn't say that I never wanted to come back. I've been on here a couple of times, and I talk to Shelton regularly. It's not like I hate anyone here. Stop.
You didn't answer my phone call the other day. I called you to talk to you about something. You didn't answer.
You called me when I was in the grocery store putting together.
Call back. Could have called back.
I could have.
I read a comment. Oh, Terry Waters says, "Take care, everyone. I'm unsubscribing. I was Shelton's miffed. I'm not mad at you, Terry. I was just disappointed you didn't tune into the live last night. Don't leave. Come back, Holly. They want you back, Holly. Holly hates Solder.
Me bad.
Yeah, there was definitely some beef between the Solder and the Hollerquist going on last year.
Thumbs up if you rather Holly here than me. Let's see how many of these we
get. They're gonna break the internet.
They're
gonna break the internet.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny is I do give Cody credit because look, I respect Holly Spacey. I didn't as much as I wanted to give him shit when FSU was losing. Cody woke Holly up with a picture of old Ben, Kurt Herbstreit's dog, every Saturday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in line to drop my kid off at school, and I got the picture. Look, it was a black and white picture of a dog, and I'm like, hold on, let me look at this for a second. I was like, look, I even told Cody I like dogs more than I like people, so screw Herbstreit, but really sorry about the dog. Love dogs.
Yeah, no.
Did you? I have one question. Did you poison that dog?
I would
Were
never.
you the one, or was it 3, 2, 1, no?
No. Holly's a big dog guy.
I would never.
That's the dog shit guy. The guy that said he was going to eat dog shit. That's why you keep losing.
Yeah. See, this is why I don't bet anything in games, right? Like I don't make like financial bets. I don't make like bets about like shaving like a body part. Like I got no control over the outcome of these games. And for any moron to say something as silly as I'm going to eat dog crap.
It's all likes in the comments.
Because I'm
it's all thumbs up
because of
here.
a team losing. Like there's no shot. No shot.
Can I ask you, Steve?
Go on.
So we never really spoke about the FSU dilemma when you guys didn't make the playoffs. And can we clear the air? Because I think people think that I was like rude or mean to you, which was never the case.
No.
You and I were always. I even blocked you to protect our friendship. Can we confirm that?
Oh, that is 100% true. Shelton blocked me from the High Top Twitter page, and I want to say his own personal Twitter page, because he was going, and he even told me. He told me via text, I blocked you to save our friendship, because he was going jihad on FSU and mocking him and making fun of him. And he saw what I was doing at Twitter at the same time, and we just didn't want those two trains coming head to head on the same track. Mm-hmm. That's 100% true.
I could just see, I was like, this isn't going to be healthy. I was like, I can't back down. Like, there's just no possible way. And I understood your frustration, rightfully so.
Yeah. We both of us had our heels dug in on whatever our stance was at that matter. Yours was mock them, fuck them. The best thing that ever happens to your enemy is that. And then I was on the other side of it. Like, I'll take this whole.
You were not in a fun place.
As we go,
that's
absolutely.
We haven't had a chance to talk about it. So you were obviously irate, rightfully so. Then you have all off season building up to this season, which I told you last year on the show privately. I go, hey, y'all better get it done this year, because there's some uncertainty headed into this year. And you're like, yeah, I totally agree. Nobody, and I texted you at the beginning of the season. I go, I'm thinking 8-4. Like, that was my prediction. 1-9 was not on either of our bingo cards.
I don't think that's see. Here's the thing, though. Like, I mean, even if, and I thought about this the other day. It's funny that you bring this up, because I thought about this the other day when I was driving. I was like, by myself. I'm like, 1-9 as a football team sucks, right? Like, that's a horrible thing. And I'm like, what team? Their fan base anyway? What fan base goes into a football season thinking we might win 2 games?
Yeah,
I don't think that exists.
Vandy of the
I don't think that part exists, right? That piece of that of fandom doesn't exist. Like, even if you're like, and I was even trying to think, like, where's the bottom of the barrel? Like, I mean, what team is like, 2-3 games, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm like Wyoming or something. Like, I couldn't even find a team that would be like, yeah, we're looking at the schedule and I'm looking at like Wyoming. So like 2 wins. So that being said, I was like, how do you predict it? What do you do? Like, it's a complete disaster. Now, look, FSU last year, and this is why we were so pissed, hired a team of mercenaries. Like, these guys were hired. They were Hessians, right? They had no business other than being there to win a football game, and that was it. That was the only reason. So when they didn't get a shot to play, exactly what you would think from a contractor. They were contracted.
Yeah, people want to say like, oh, they quit on the team. Like, it was never playing for the logo. Like, as much like that's not a shot. It was like, we're here to kill.
No, it's 100% they weren't playing for the logo. I mean, like, the guys like Verse and Benson who came back after a second year, I could see it for them.
Travis Hunter would have played. Yeah.
Jaheim, like Keon, like those guys will say that they went to FSU because they're
but there wasn't a logo commitment.
Gear. But that's it.
So let me ask you, when was because again when you guys were losing early this year, I was again having fun with the losses. You and I were not talking about those losses because I think there was still like a sense of like there's kind of where we're at. It's like, well, the shit's a wrap. When did it turn for you of like, okay, I can't even be mad anymore? What game was it for you?
Gosh, it just there was the Boston College game that I just felt like there was so much quit in the team.
Really?
Yeah.
Second game of the year, you were like, F it.
Well, I mean, that's what I didn't think that we were going to put in the effort. Right. Gotcha. And I just like DJU was robotic, and then that didn't look healthy. Like, even him being there, the offensive line, but just all the pieces, right? All the pieces just didn't seem to be playing very well. They none of it looked cohesive. They didn't play complementary football. The defensive line, which is as a unit, probably one of the highest paid units on the team. Actually, it is the highest paid unit on the team. They just suck. They just weren't playing. They weren't playing like they wanted to win. They were playing like they wanted to continue to earn the money that they were paid, and I could just see it. It sucked.
But when did you stop being mad?
He's
week
still
4.
mad.
Well, when DJU got hurt, I was like, I didn't even really know if that was a real injury. But then that was it. Like
So week 4 or 5.
that,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So before North Carolina, I was already out of it, and I started to watch other games with that in the back.
North Carolina was last week, Steve.
Yeah,
Ivy Max is $5.
that's
This is the best Steve has ever sounded. He could teach Dave a thing or two. Steve,
Hey.
look, when Steve's dialed, boys.
I got a question for you, Steve.
Go on.
Got anything to do at like 8:35 on Wednesday?
The hell, no,
do I do anything around 8:35 on Wednesday?
Yeah,
well, I mean, I tune into this channel for a little while to see what the topic's going to be.
Oh, okay.
I chime into anybody
Listen,
who watches.
all right, let's just cut
I
straight
chime.
to the chase. Listen,
Go on.
I'm gonna make this proposition.
Okay.
I'm willing to give you all of my high top 401k that's not been gambled away to get you back on the show on Wednesdays. That's what I can do for this channel. All of my high top 401k to get you back on Wednesdays.
Honestly, you just stop giving takes. I think that'll be enough.
Well, this is my best take so far.
You go.
Get Holly back on. Thumbs up. Guys,
Look,
see, I'll give them all.
We'll need to get a Soderquist, like at least a digital signature buy-in on that. I think Soderquist he's been okay with me not just breathing down.
No, Swolder turned into you this week. All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When the letter came out from Strickland, I got the same text that I got from you. No joke. I go, this is happening again. I was like, it's unbelievable. And then I was like, maybe you should sleep on it. Same shit, same conversation. I go, look, dude. He's like, I'm done with football. This shit's stupid. And I was like, dude, come on. And he's like, I'm done after this year. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll have to find someone else to hop on. He's like, oh, no, I'm just frustrated. I go, yeah. So he was a little more logical than you. But look, who knows? I mean, I know you were in shambles after that loss. I don't know. I don't. Here's my problem. I know I would have, because when it first happened, I was having a good time trolling. And it would have been hard to bite my tongue. I would have had to slip in a few roll tides, and I don't know if you would have handled it too well then. Sippy fan says, "Great to see you, Holly. Why don't you stick around?" I don't know. Look, this is a question from Holly, boys. Not me.
Look, I mean, like I never stopped not being around. I've been in the chat before. I've been in. I've been out. I talked to Sheldon.
They want to hear from the man, the myth, the legend, and see the crazy lady back there.
But I missed.
Yeah, they want her back.
Yeah, they want her back. We want you back.
I think
I'll say it. I want you back.
Steve got to a point where it wasn't fun, right? And this can get like that at times where it's not fun, and when your team's not winning, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And the comments and the chats, those things can get a bit abrasive at times. Cody,
why do you think we stop playing? Why do you think we stopped playing NCAA on Fridays? It just
Yeah, I go through it, and look, I think you've got to want to really, really do it, and I think that's kind of where Holly's at with it. It's just, I don't know where you stand at with it now, but I think that's what happened. Is that fair? Is that safe to say?
Yeah. I mean, it put me on the precipice of being disenfranchised completely with college football. Like, I mean, I was so. Everything that I knew about how college football worked and the way that I understood it. And I mean, again, you're talking to somebody who is a 47-year-old man. And, for 30 years, I've understood how college football worked. And I watched that whole thing. And then to see business in the way that college football was going about their business changed the logic of how the fan feels. It felt disenfranchising to be a fan and see the NCAA and the way that they are now doing things leave. I mean, that was just, for me, that was like they basically divorced me, and I didn't see it coming. And that's where. So I was burned, man. You consider my ass chapped. I was like, you know what? At this point, and this is why I've been the way I've been this season. Like, I was so disenfranchised. I just like, whatever happens this year happens. FSU could be 8-0, 9-0, and I still would be kind of melancholy to the whole thing because I'm just like, I'm frustrated by it. So look, I mean, it is what it is. It's going to take me a while to get my legs back under me. It's going to take me a while to feel it and to want to be into it and to listen to the news and to watch all the stuff come in and out of it. I got real mad, not at Florida State or Florida or Miami or any team in specific. I got mad at the system. And I was just like, you know what? I can't do this every day, man.
Look,
I can't be this hinged.
It wasn't a healthy relationship, and I think with the sport, with the channel, with the Discord, like all of it, and I think there's a point. It's kind of like the chat. The chat gets mad at me, right, for certain things happening, and so like Steve's frustrated, and it's like, look, we're kind of getting at each other. Like I'm antagonizing him, like just by talking, like just by breathing, because he knows I love it. And when you're pissed off, you're like, F you, bro. Like it's not easy to swallow. I think that was kind of where it got to too. But again, I mean, there was never, and I told him after, like texted him during, I was like, look, like I'm not upset. Like I understand you got to do you, but my thing is like, I've told you too, I'll always appreciate you and thank for you and care for you, because obviously I don't believe we would be where we are without the fact that we started this thing and you shut up every single day for 2.5 years straight. So that's kind of where I always stood with it. And again, I always said your seat it's always open. It's up to you.
No, look, this is family. It's always been family. Cody came along. The man's been family since before he was on a camera. Soderquist, same thing, family. And from what I can see and from what I hear from you, the high top family keeps growing and growing with other guys out there doing some of their content, based on their teams, which is amazing. Like I said to you the other day when we had a chance to be in the same place at the same time, that I was just proud of you. Like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of High Top. I'm proud of the way that the whole thing has kind of played out, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, look, even though I've taken a step back and been a little bit out of it, I still watch it. I still know what's going on, and I still make sure that that I stay close to it. So, look, I love you guys to death. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your folks that may or may not be in line to yell about a Texas game. I thought you guys played a lot better football than you're giving yourself credit for. But yeah, right now y'all probably don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we're in misery here. But Holly, I appreciate you calling in, big guy. You're always welcome. Your
everybody
mic's always
wants
open.
you back. Everybody wants you back, bud.
We'll get it figured out.
You got Cody just flinging out takes that need to be checked. He thinks I'm just picking on him, but
so basically, we just need like a fact checker, like somebody just in the middle of the teeter totter here.
Yeah, not much.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Just a little sauce. Just a little sauce.
I love it. All right, boys. Y'all have a hell of a night, man. Go Bubba. Florida State. Go Noles.
Later, Bubba. Be good, man. Well, boys and girls, pleasure there to talk to Mr. Stephen Hawley. We are going to wrap up this call-in show. A lot of great games on right now. And why would you be listening to us to bitch and complain? I mean, there's so many great games on. Ole Miss is up 13-7. Texas Tech.
IU's
handling
up.
business to Colorado right now, 13-0. I'm kind of shook on that one, but you guys be good. Who's up?
IU's up on Michigan, 14-0. At IU, at Bloomington. All roads through the Big Ten runs through Bloomington.
We tried telling them. Love you, boys. Be good. Smash the like button, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.